used to be the land of opportunity. People used to strive for peace. We don't even use the word unity until them guns release. Young kids dropping out of school, thinking they know it all, don't even know the rules. Grown men wanna kill themselves for a cause. Innocent people losing their lives in the cause. History repeating itself, what are we doing? The revolution will be televised, still brewing. CNN cameras, satellite coverage. We heading for destruction, don't forget your luggage. Marvin Gaye's vision, what's going on? Back in 71, it's being reborn. We need to wake up, people getting shot dead. Homie lost his life for doing what the police said.
I just wanna know if we gonna last. The glass is half full, the bottom's coming fast. I just wanna know where's all the justice? Blaming on the system, no we can't trust it. I just wanna know if we gonna last. The glass is half full, the bottom's coming fast. I just wanna know where's all the justice? Blaming on the system, no we can't trust it. I just wanna know. Too much stress, but Lord knows we trying different drama every day. Too many young people dying, having conversations like, what happened to the youth? You really wanna know? We stopped teaching them the truth. Took the power from the parents, took religion out of school. I just watched the fire challenge. Who's raising these fools? Damn. Too many cubs, no lions. Too many broken hearts and families crying. Damn. Will we ever be free at last? The way we going, I don't know if we gon' even last. Martin Luther still having dreams. Listen closely, you can hear the screams. Yeah, violence all across your TV screens. Turn me into Malcolm by any means. Yeah, corruption busting through the seams. Hands up, screaming loud, don't kill my dreams. If we gonna last, the glass is half full, the bottom's coming fast. I just wanna know where's all the justice? Blaming on the system, no we can't trust it. I just wanna know if we gonna last, the glass is.
You're listening to Drive-By Headlines with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave,
Yeah.
and Big Ug,
Big up.
Joe Ugly.
Okay. I think I finally figured out how to use a radio mic. Jeez.
First time in the studio, Joe?
First time in the studio. First time, long time. Ah, man.
All right, who is that, Joe?
Who was, I just want to know?
Yeah.
That is Baker, HGO, and of course, the man himself, Kodak.
All right.
I just want to know is the name of the track. Yeah.
So,
Yes.
what's up, Joe?
A little bit of everything is up.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I hear these days
These
that
days.
Stormy Daniels is going to be the Democratic candidate.
It's going to be a Democratic candidate.
Yeah, she's running for president as a Democrat.
Well,
Is she your candidate, Joe?
come on, man. Come on.
I'm just asking because this
Where
all
did you-
these days,
where did you
all
hear
these
this, on
days, the
Fox
Democrats are waiting for Stormy to say something.
Nobody's
Dem-
waiting for
Democrats-
Stormy. Nobody's
Democrats were
waiting
treating-
Nobody's waiting for
The
Stormy to say
Democrats are
anything.
treating Stormy's Saturday Night Live skit as news.
No,
Do you
they're
hear
not.
she calls for his resignation?
No,
Do
no,
you-
they're not. No, they're not. You can,
Such intelligent
Fox News-
Democrats.
No, Fox News says that.
No,
one
no,
on-
not Fox
no,
News.
No, Democrat.
I get it from the
Which
Democrats here.
Which Democrat? Which Democrat?
Of course, I cannot name
Can't divulge
names.
your names. No, but don't just chalk it up because you heard it from 2 or 3 people. As everyone is saying that.
So, all right, before we get into all of this Avenatti and all of this stuff, right?
Good stuff, by the way.
Let's talk about the Iran deal.
Okay, what about it?
Trump.
Good thing, bad thing? What do you think?
For me, it's a good thing.
Okay, why you think this?
For me, it's kind of simple, right? I look at the Iran's neighbors,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you have the United Emirates, right? You have
You got Syria,
Israel,
you got
you have
you have-
Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
Egypt, all of those people happy about the deal being canceled because they're terrorized by Iran.
Well, how much sense does that make?
So because
no,
they
no,
knew,
no, hold on.
because they knew they were lying.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand this clearly now. You want me they knew they were lying.
Yeah, Israel came out with
The
the info.
Let's be very clear on what Israel came
Netanyahu.
out with, what Benjamin Netanyahu came out with. Let's be very clear about this. First of all, they put out the statement that Iran has, we have proof that Iran has nuclear. They've been working on
Actually, that they
stuff.
haven't stopped their program. That's what.
the
And they haven't.
no. They said we have proof that they has nuclear stuff working on, and then they had to go back and correct the typo that they had, and that's
No,
the
no.
danger. No.
That they
That's the
right.
dangers in just one word. This is what it is when powerful people
No.
make
Joe, you-
comments.
What
and
they
the word
said.
has and had.
What they
Just
said,
one
Joe,
letter off.
is
One
that they
letter
haven't
off.
destroyed
Okay?
their program.
One of the letters,
Right?
they said that they.
So what Iran was doing was basically freezing where they were. They didn't destroy their program, right? So everything is still there, and they were still allowed to spin the centrifuges, still build nuclear material as long as it didn't get to the point of a nuclear weapon, right? And then you also, in that deal, they were allowed to have ballistic missiles. Actually develop ballistic missiles. So at the end of the deal, they had the material to go nuclear, and then they would have the missiles, the technology on the missiles, because they're allowed to develop it under this deal. So by the end of that deal, they'll be able to reach us. So, there's a lot of things that were wrong with this deal. And also, we weren't able to inspect their military facilities. So it's like, Joe, I'm a drug dealer, you're a cop, and you come to my house and you say you're going to search my apartment, and I say, okay, let's deal here. You can search my apartment as long as you don't search my back room. And you say, deal. That's a bad deal because you don't get to search everywhere. And also, we had to give them 30 days notice before we go, so they could clean up an area and move their material elsewhere. It was a bad deal, Joe.
You finished?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because that's all garbage, right?
No, it's not all garbage. It's not all garbage. You know who said that? You know who said that? Chuck Schumer. And I got the video clip if you want to hear. Chuck Schumer was against the deal when Obama signed up for this deal, which everybody is treating like a treaty, and it wasn't a treaty because it didn't go through Congress. So people go, how could Trump just, pull out of a treaty? Oh my God, look what, it wasn't a treaty. Obama did this on his own without the Congress, and then he tried to bring it afterwards to Congress. So, go ahead. Your turn.
You finished with that garbage?
Your turn.
Just let me know when you're really done with that Fox News propaganda.
Not Fox News propaganda. Chucky Schumer. Chucky Schumer.
Chucky
Yeah,
Chucky Schumer. No, here's what it is that you just here's the nonsense that you just try to sell us. Okay, I just told you that the White House is the one who put out the statement saying that Iran have secret nuclear weapons program. They had to go back and change it to had.
Yeah, I wasn't talking
And they
about the
were
White House. I was talking about
excuse
Netanyahu.
me, and they were pointing to what Netanyahu was showing. What Netanyahu was showing was some stuff that they had conversated years ago. Okay, he decided to pull it out now like The Price is Right and showing all this information here as if it was current. I mean, he trumped Trump, man. He pulled the best thing. Give them visuals. They're gonna love it.
Iran.
It's like he was dropping the new iPhone.
You know what
I mean,
Iran
come on,
said?
man.
Iran said before Trump pulled out, if he pulls out, great. We'll just continue our nuclear program. Continue meaning they never got rid of it. It's frozen. What Obama needed to do was get rid of it. Instead, he allowed them to keep their spot where they were,
see,
so that they could continue it in 10 years.
No, okay. So here's what we're looking at, people. You let them stop. Okay, you're gonna stop with this program right now. You gotta put a holdback on this for 10 years.
And by the
Because
way,
we
did
know-
you see the Iranians burning our flag? Their government officials, all in a group burning our flag. Like, these are the people we had to deal with, yelling. I like that. I should actually slide it over. All right. Anyway, these are the people we wanted to deal with. Iran,
All I'm saying is,
death to America. Yeah, sorry.
I hope you're looking at us right now on Facebook, people, because I have a whole new strategy. It's a whole new strategy on how to get a word in around here. You know what? We need to do a studio exchange program where you have to come over to do this show over at Ugly Radio at least once a month or twice a month, every other week. We got to do this back and forth because, I can't get a
You
word
feel
in
like
when I come out here.
you feel like you're on my home court. This is your home court too.
No, it's not. Not when I start over here, man. Because first of all, he has full act. I'm not even gonna get into all of that, but anyway, what you're saying about this program that this nuclear program that Trump walked away from, it was very silly of him to do that because it would have set it back for 10 years, 10 years before they could start up anything else. And to say that they won't be an inspector was wrong. They had UN inspectors on the ground every single week, every day.
The inspections were where
The
they
inspection
allowed you
was-
to inspect, Joe.
The inspectors
You
were-
could not inspect their military facilities.
The inspection was going through all of their nuclear
wasn't.
facility, all of their
And
facilities,
you,
all
if
of
you
their facilities.
and
were
you
being
had to give
checked.
them 30 days before they could
That's
search
the
those
other
grounds.
part of the nonsense. I just got through saying that they had to. And by the way, you can't move nuclear. It's not like you could just pack up nuclear in the back of a truck and run with it without leaving traces. That's
true.
impossible. So even if it was 30 days, it's not like they could just pack it up and run. This is not a mobile thing. This is something that must be done in a stable environment.
Do you want to hear what Chuck Schumer said?
Well, what did Chuck Schumer said? Even if he said that they got to wait 30 days, even if he said that, let's be very thoughtful about what we say.
Let me tell you what Chuck Schumer said
be sensible
was,
about
we're
what
not
we say.
stopping their program. We're licensing their program in 10 years. So we're allowing them to actually get stronger. Why
Why are we allowing them to
ballistic
get
missile.
stronger? You can't build anything. It's part of the deal. In order for you, and this
No,
$150
because
million that Trump keeps saying
because
that they
they-
got 150. We give them $150 million in cash. They got $150 million in cash.
No.
Cash.
No,
First
we
of all,
gave.
it was Iranian. Go
It
ahead.
wasn't 150 billion in cash we gave.
That's what he said. $150
I know he's
billion
wrong. It
in
was something like
cash.
400 million in cash, and then the rest was.
But it wasn't even our
frozen
money in the
stuff.
first thing. It was stuff that we had frozen. It's not like we took American taxpaying dollars and give it to them. It was stuff we froze in our banks. We just loosened it
was
up for them.
it was
and the people of
frozen for a
Iran were
reason.
doing bad.
It was
They were
frozen
doing-
for a reason,
The
Joe.
people in Iran were doing bad. We can't just keep squeezing them. The way the Obama administration look at it,
Joe, that money wasn't helping the people
The
of
way-
Iran.
the way the
What they
Obama-
do is they fund terrorism. They're the number one sponsor of terrorism. You know that, right? They fund
I'm not-
Hezbollah. They
you know,
fund all of
I'm not going to argue about this, but there's people who could say that we're the number one funder of different things across the globe. But
You're comparing us to Iran now.
no, I'm not. See, that's where you went with that. I just said there are people
what
who
you
can.
said.
I said there are people who can say we fund stuff across the globe. Doesn't compare us to Iran. It's just saying that we fund stuff. But what does that mean?
Well, no. Well, they're the number one funder. They fund Boko Haram. They fund Hezbollah. They fund all the terrorists that you see in the Middle East. Money is coming from Iran.
Not all
A-
of it.
and
not
help
all of it.
and
not
weapons.
all of it. Not all
Most
of it. at
of
all.
it. Most of it.
Most
They're
of
the
it.
number one sponsor.
I like how as soon as you catch them and you catch them on some nonsense, you go diving off the diving
But-
board into the shallow end of the pool at that.
He caught me
Like
in
that.
nothing, but
Yeah, I mean, come on. Here it is. He comes off with you got 30 days to move you can move this. Oh, garbage. That any sensible person, if you're willing to think about this sensibly,
so then Chuck
You
Schumer
can't
wasn't
just-
sensible when he voted against it.
well, Chuck Schumer had other reasons. He had political reasons. Norma Rodriguez sat here in the last
Hold
program
on.
and explained the
So
political
So you're
reasons.
telling me we can't
He had his
trust
constitu-
Chuck Schumer?
You can't trust any politicians 100. That's
you
just the
go.
way it is. But you do go ahead and you
So-
you can't trust anyone.
so
not
it was
just a politician.
politically
Anyone. I
expedient.
don't trust you 100. I got love for you, but I don't trust you 100. You listen to Fox News.
It was politically
There's no way I'm gonna
expedient
trust you.
for him to say he was against Obama when everybody went against him.
I would think it was just like right now. You got Joe Manchin, who is going against who going against the Democrats to allow
Vote for the CIA.
yeah to vote for that's political expediency. We all know that it happens.
That yes,
That
but
happens.
at the
Oh,
time
come on,
Chuck
man.
Schumer did it. At the time Chuck Schumer
Yes,
did
the
it.
time he did it, his constituency. Come on, man. We know who is his core constituency. Come on, man. We know who his core constituency. Come on, stop playing. Stop playing.
All right, so you don't want to hear from Chuck Schumer though, right?
Not about this issue.
Okay.
He got a selfish interest. I don't have a problem with him having a
So I don't
selfish
trust
interest
Chuck
either.
Schumer anymore.
No, well, if that's
Not
how
that
you
I
want to
did.
be, you want to be 100.
Because you know
on
he
it.
also came out against Trump getting out of the deal this week, right? You know that. So
Yes,
so he was
yes.
against it.
Yeah,
He was against it
he
when
was against
Obama
it
was
then,
there,
right?
and now he's against pulling out of it with Trump.
Again,
He's a hypocrite.
no.
He's a typical
You see-
Democrat who doesn't
see,
believe in
again,
anything
no.
and just goes by the political wins.
That's not true. You can look at it as such, but when you're looking at your core constituency, that's what he did. He worked with his constituency.
Wait, so his constituency thinks it's bad now
that-
to get out of it?
course.
Wait, but they thought it was bad to get into it. So this is what I'm saying.
Because
Chuck Schumer,
at that time,
now he's
they're
being
dealing with-
politically expedient.
no, now they're dealing with
not
different
back
information.
then.
Now they're dealing with different information.
No way, Joe.
Chuck Schumer was dealing with it where his core constituency was looking at it from the standpoint of, oh, they could move this thing any given day. Now you have different information that shows you can't pack up a nuclear plant and move it overnight.
What are you
now
talking
they're
about,
like,
Joe?
So now they're like, oh, wait a minute.
The fact is that it didn't get rid of Iran's nuclear program. All it did was freeze it in place while still allowing them
so
to
now-
spin centrifuges.
Okay. So Trump got rid of it, right?
Did Trump get rid of it? No.
Oh, so
We're
what
still in the
happened?
same spot.
So what happened?
right?
So-
the
so what is he
difference
gonna-
is
so
now
what he's
the
gonna do now?
sanctions that were choking them.
Yeah.
Obama let them out of those sanctions that were choking them. He was on his way. Let me tell you, Obama was on his way to getting the type of deal that Trump is on his way to getting with Little Kim, right? Kim Jong Un. So anybody, the leader of North Korea. So he was actually choking Iran out with his sanctions, but instead of leaving him choking on those sanctions,
So wait a minute.
he gave
so
him
you're
relief. He
saying
gave
that
him
He
money.
got out of a deal that he thought was bad to get into the exact same deal with another person.
Well, the reason that
Is that what you said?
what are you talking about?
You just
You-
said
I
that
lost you there.
You just said that Trump.
No, not
And
Trump. I'm just talking about
You
Obama.
said Trump got out of the deal in Iran, just like Obama got into a deal.
Obama.
No, Obama got into a deal with Iran, just like what Trump is getting ready to get into with Lil Kim. That's what you just
No,
said.
what I said is
Or
he
maybe
was
you
on
wanted to say
he was
something
on
else.
his way to having the same leverage Trump had by choking him out with the sanctions, right? And instead of doing that,
Choking whom out?
Iran.
Choking out whom?
Obama had.
Who's Iran? Who's Iran?
You don't know who they are?
No, Iran are the people. So this is what they were doing. They were going to choke out the people. The country is just a piece of land.
Come on,
When
Joe.
you say Iran, you're talking about the
Joe.
people themselves. This is exactly what was going on. The people were getting choked out. They were hungry. They were starving. There are a lot of people who were going through some real economic hardship over there. So, I mean, hey, it is America. We live in nice. Our economy coming back, and we were strangling the heck out of someone else. I think
Right,
it's just
he was
humanity.
strangling them to try to get them away from the nuclear weapons.
I think-
and
but-
instead of
But it
continuing
brought
that,
them to the table.
he
Harry.
gave
Which
the
part
money.
of that?
No.
It brought
what
them
brought
to
them to the
table.
table was them being in sanctions. That's what brought them to the table.
Yes, it brought them to the table.
And then
So
once they came to the table, he gave it all away.
No, he didn't
He
give it
gave
all
his
away.
leverage
No, he
away
didn't. Okay.
because he saw the end of
Well,
his
we gonna-
presidency
we
coming,
gonna see
and
what-
he wanted to be the one to make the
what do you
deal.
call him? Little Rocket Man?
Little Rocket Man.
We'll see what
Little
Donald
Kim.
Trump and Lil Kim do. We'll see.
Oh, we'll see.
we'll
But
see.
one thing we know
We
is that
gonna
he's
see
not
how this
giving
is.
away everything,
Oh, yeah. Okay, we know this.
right?
We know this.
Well, we know we got.
we know this.
We know we got
How
three.
you know this?
We know we got
What
three
have
hostages.
Donald Trump ever do?
Joe, we know we got 3 hostages without having to pay
Don't even bring
for
that
anything.
up. Don't even bring that up.
Let me tell you,
That was a disgrace of a display of.
that was a disgrace?
But what Trump did when those people landed, when those 3
I'm
hostages
so glad you
landed
said that.
at Joint Base Andrews. I hate the fact that they renamed this thing Andrews Air Force Base.
I'm so glad you said that, Joe.
Yes.
Because that was a disgrace, what he did, greeting Americans coming back from being hostages.
Best ratings you ever had at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Let's listen to
best AM.
Let's
Best
listen
rate.
who's really a
Excuse me.
disgrace.
Best.
I called Bob and Janny Bergdahl and told them that after nearly 5 years in captivity, their son Bo is coming home. Sergeant Bergdahl has missed
This
birthdays,
at the White House, at the Rose
holidays,
Garden.
and the simple moments with family and friends, which all of us take for granted. But while Bo was gone,
This was a
he was
disgrace.
never forgotten. As part of
This was a disgrace. He gave up 5 terrorists to get a traitor in Bo Bergdahl, and then he had this presser at the Rose Garden with the parents of Bo Bergdahl, the traitor. That was a disgrace. To try to make it look like a victory. Now Trump actually meeting the 3 Americans coming back, who, by the way, he was ecstatic to see. And 3 Americans who don't look like him, okay, which is something you people are always, insulting him with. You just want to complete the thought, Joe? Anyway, so
Oh, go ahead. I'm just.
Barack Hussein Obama was the one that was a disgrace, acting like he had a victory there when he gave up 5 of the worst terrorists for a traitor.
Are you done?
What did Trump give up, Joe?
Are you done?
Yeah, but what did Trump give up?
Okay. So you have Donald Trump. These individuals. First of all, we don't know what the heck he's given up yet. So much to unravel with this guy.
He hasn't given up anything,
But
Joe.
anyway, we don't know yet. We don't know yet what he's given
All
up.
the sanctions are still on, right? The hostages came home. By the way, this isn't the first of the hostages since Trump's been president. He's been able to bring back a few hostages that Obama just didn't care about. Go ahead, Joe.
Thank you. We don't know, first of all, what he's given up yet. Second of all, my point was it was a disgrace to see how he sat there on the tarmac and talk about Kim Jong-un treated these people nice when one guy had to cut out the plane in Alaska just to see sunlight because he haven't seen sunlight in over 2 years or so. He hasn't seen sunlight. He's been chained up in a basement
Let me
and
tell you
brutally
something.
abused.
You guys
This
are
guy-
so pitiful, Joe. Right? You try to take whatever it is that he's done and twist it. When he said Kim Jong-un has been great in this, because in this deal, since they've been talking, he's been doing what he needs to do with Donald Trump. Now, you know the stuff that Donald Trump said about him.
You trying to tell me
You
that you're
guys were
gonna sit there
crying
and
about
say that he is
Trump
so-
calling him
he
Little
is
Rocket
so-
Man.
He is so got. Nobody was crying.
Of
about
course, the
anything.
media was.
No,
Oh my God! The media thought the sky was falling. They were claiming that he was going to start a nuclear war with North Korea.
Oh, so this is how you do it. So you go and you thank the guy for not thanking, but
For completing this
but
portion
first
of
and
the deal,
foremost,
yes.
First and foremost, they're gonna put the biggest problem of them all is that they're gonna make this guy put this guy on a world stage. This guy that's
He's on the world
in-
stage, Joe.
you put him, you give him world
He's been threatening the
acceptance.
United States for
You
years.
give this
He's
guy
on the world,
world
stage.
acceptance by actually
Acceptance?
yes, he's actually giving him some kind of
Do you remember in the
a
Olympics?
presence.
You remember the Olympics that
this
just
guy,
passed?
This
Where
guy,
CNN and MSNBC were glorifying his sister. Okay? Above our vice president who was sitting there.
oh, I know you're
Come
not
on.
talking about Mike Pence.
Come on.
I know you're not talking about
Yes,
Michael
they were
Pence.
acting like. Look,
I
they were
know you-
asking like Kim Jong Un's
Oh, you mean
sister
like how, you
was
mean like how Mike Pence
was the princess.
so you mean like how Mike Pence go out to a football game just to watch some football players take a kneel because he had planned was to walk on out of there? Is that what it is? All photo op? Is
Come
that
on,
what
Joe.
you want?
Come on, Joe.
Is that what we're on?
We're talking about how you
Is
people
that,
act.
Is that what we're on? You
The
people
Democrats
act-
are disgraceful.
The Democrats are
You
disgraceful.
can't give
You know
Trump
what's
credit
really-
for nothing.
No,
At least when
no.
Obama
You
under
give this
Obama,
you give this guy credit for when credit is due.
It's
And
due.
which I have no
So let me
problems
tell you-
with
let
doing.
me ask you a
I
question.
said last
Do
week,
you think
and I
Obama-
still say to this day.
do you think
if he
Obama
can
was on
pull
SEAL
this
Team
thing
6
off-
when they
if he-
killed
if
Osama
he-
bin Laden?
If he could pull this
Do
thing
you think
off
Obama
in North
was on SEAL
Korea,
Team 6,
kudos to him. I cheer him if he can pull it off. But at the end of the day, I'm going to wait and see. I'm not going to be jumping high horse because first of all, he went in there and he set the bar so high, knowing he is not a high jumper. This guy's the lowest jumper in the doggone race, and he set the hurdle so high.
And-
He's going to tell him, you got to get rid of your 50 years of making nuclear weapon off the table. That's it. Or we don't have a deal. That's when he's walking over there.
You
so
need
if
to
he go
read.
Over, no,
You need to read. You need to
need to
read
read. Because
Trump's
he
Art of the
went
Deal.
over there, out of the deal. He didn't even write.
You need to
Yeah, right.
read
He didn't
Trump's
even,
Art of the
he
Deal.
didn't even write that thing, by the way.
Oh,
Out of the deal.
Let's talk about that.
Out of the deal.
Because you
Let's
know,
not talk about
no,
that. Because
you know,
that's
Dreams
another-
of My Father.
We are not.
Obama's book,
we
Dreams
are
of My
not
Father.
gonna- what-
Bill
what about-
Ayers claims to
Yeah.
have wrote it.
I don't care who
Do you know
claims
that?
I wrote it. I don't
Okay,
care.
and people made him
I don't care who.
the greatest person alive after that book.
Oh, yeah.
Oprah put him on his show.
Yes.
On her show.
Yes.
And said, everybody read this book. And
Yes.
that's how Barack Obama came into fame.
So Bill Ayers wrote it.
Bill Ayers.
That's who wrote it.
That's who,
Man,
hey, he
you-
claimed it.
Listen, man.
Bill Ayers claimed it.
Yo, man. Go take a drink of water, man. and get a pill, too, with it. I don't believe you. You just, oh, my God.
You're listening to Drive-By Headlines on WNHHLP 103.5 FM. Your home for community radio. We'll be back.
Oh, yeah, we are.
We'll be back.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Big Ug!
Yeah.
When I was 16, I was really in the streets. Count that money, count that money, count that money all night. When I was 16, I was really in the streets. Count that money, count that money, count that money all night. When I was 16, I was really in the spot. Trap phone, ring it, every pocket got a knot. Water whipping Yola got me whipping off the lot. Holla auntie, keep the extra, she gon' scrape it out the pot. Couple hitters with me, but you know I got my own strap. Switching up my numbers, cause the feds be tryna phone tap. Ziggins ain't 100, so you gotta watch your own back. And my name tatted on the so I own that. Shorty want some Quavo, I don't do the whole say. I do what I want, nigga, and you do what these hoes say. Fuckin' like a porn star, sexy tryna role play. How you wanna feel, nigga, and you ain't bustin' no plays. You ain't making plays, my nigga, but goddamn. I've been waiting on this moment since they let me out the camp. Watch them just get excited when the nigga hit the stage. I'm the only young boy acting older than my age, cause when I was 16, I was really in the streets. Hey, spoiling no scab. When I was 16, I was really in the streets. Hey, ducking cops and making stabs. When I was 16, I was really in the streets. Count that money, count that money, count that money all night. When I was 16, I was really in the streets. Count that money, count that money, count that money all night. When I was 16, I was breaking down the ball. Real 3 times, now it's time to hit the mall. Fuck, told me pull up, I'm just waiting on the call. Got a telly full of biscuits and I'm trying to fuck them all. Shorty started twerking off the Henny and Patron shots. Niggas chicken talking real estate, I can move my own blocks. Dimes look like 20s, watch the fiends get the rush. And we gon' knock them out of shoes with my shooter, get the drum. Shorty threw the number, I ain't even get the name. But a shorty picture perfect, I can beat it at the frame. They call me bragging rights and I'm the realest in the game. Started busting traps and nigga, nothing was the same. You ain't busting traps, my nigga, but goddamn. I've been waiting on this moment since they let me out the camp. Watch them bitches get excited when they get hit the stage. I'm the only young boy acting older than my age. Cause when I was 16, I was really in the streets. Spoiling no scab. When I was 16, I was really in the streets. Ducking cops and making stabs. When I was 16, I was really in the streets. Count that money, count that money, count that money all night. When I was 16, I was really in the streets. Count that money, count that money, count that money all night.
You're listening to Drive-By Headlines with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave, and Big Ug, Joe Ugly.
Keeping it ugly. That was, of course, Bragging Rights in the streets. Shout outs to Bragging Rights. New Haven's finest rapper, one of New Haven's finest rappers. Moving right along, on these drive-by headlines. Are you ready to talk about the amount of monies that were filtering
The Avenatti?
through that Michael Avenatti?
I
has
want to put a
brought up?
freeze on that for a second.
Why?
Because I want to ask you a question about, because you have a general, I'm trying to find it. Thomas
I'm glad you brought that up. That's
Mc-
right, Dave.
McInerney,
McHenry.
who
Was
Who
on Fox
said-
News.
did you see what he said about John McCain?
Yes.
He said John McCain knows that torture works
Mm-hmm.
because he sang like a songbird. That's why they call him Songbird McCain.
Which every fact checker
Wow.
that's been out there said that was wrong. Said that was
Well,
totally
this-
incorrect. Not wrong, but totally
Well,
incorrect.
there's no way to know what John
Okay.
McCain gave up. John
Okay,
McCain said that he didn't give up, that he said whatever he needed
Well,
to make the torture
First and foremost.
stop.
First and foremost, a general, a retired general, or any soldier who goes out there and talk about someone who has been in captivity, a war prisoner, the way this guy is
Songbird
degrading.
John, he called him.
It's totally degrading. And he made that up, by the way, on the fly, just so he can have something to say. That was just so degrading. And it was beneath the uniform he ever wore. Just goes to show what type of a general this guy really was. What type of a so-called leader. But
I'm going to refrain from saying he doesn't know what he's talking about.
What I found most important,
because he is from John's generation.
What I found even more important about that whole situation, what show was that on? I know it was on Fox.
It was on the Business Channel.
It was on one of Fox's shows.
Yeah, it was on the with
Fox,
Charles Payne.
Yes, Charles something. The black guy, right?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Which I found was even more important.
Why?
It is.
Why?
Because you have this general who comes on and make this nasty, degrading comment, and then what do? They force a black guy out there to go make the apology. It don't get no better than
that's
that.
why.
It don't get no better than that. I'm telling you. And hey, he wants to be a conservative.
Hey, it's not his fault.
Oh yeah. Oh man, trust me, I had no problems with it.
No,
I've
you're
seen
saying
this guy talk so many times on all this.
But I'm saying you think the general said I'm going to say it on the black guy's show.
I don't care.
Come on, man.
But I know the black guy had to go out there and apologize. When have you ever seen a host of a show go out and apologize?
Because that's embarrassing.
Yeah, but well, bring him back. Talk about it. You know.
Well, you don't know what he's going to say. You bring him back.
He sat down there and apologized for this guy. For his incorrect, by the way.
I'm not going to say incorrect.
Yeah, he was incorrect because they fact checked it. Nobody ever called him that.
But no, I don't know about that.
He said that's what he was known as, and it was totally wrong. He was totally incorrect. Songbird John.
I can't believe it when I read it. I was like,
that's what these jokers do. They go on and they just spout out any old thing, and this is why Rudy Giuliani is out of a job right now. He lost his job at the law firm that he was with.
He resigned.
Call it resign if you want to. I saw the statement that went out from his law firm yesterday.
He resigned.
You call it what you want to. He said he figured it was best to resign, but this is why he got out. Because he went out earlier this week saying that Michael Cohen did nothing different than what he has done for clients like that in his law practice. And that law firm was like, oh, really? Well, that's not our practice over here. And they send him bye-bye.
No, well, he retired.
Bye-bye. Oh, you could call it resign if you want to. That's his statement. But if you go back and read the statement from the law firm that he was with, who said, we sever ties, a.k.a. goodbye, take this slip, you're fired.
Right.
That's what happens. These people go out here and they make up any old thing because they know Fox News allow them. Anything Fox allow you to do this stuff. They let you get away with this nonsense.
All right, Joe.
And when you get called on it, then what you do? Send the black guy out to go apologize.
Can you give me that paper over there?
Which one?
The one that you need to get a thought in.
You better make your own paper, sir.
Anyway, so now let's move on to because our hour flies by.
It always does fly by because it's good topics.
So let's go to the Avenatti stuff. This way you have enough time to.
Michael Avenatti, he's the lawyer of Stormy Daniels, in case you don't know. And what Michael Avenatti did was he posted he put out an information, a memo rather, earlier this week where he stated that, and it was proven that corporations displaying Michael Cohen all types of funds, which is really what Trump said on the campaign. He's going to drain the swamp. There'll be none of that in his administration. Meanwhile, his lawyer had direct connection to corporation Navariste,
Navariste, I think.
Navariste, something like that. The Korean airline company, the Korean manufacturer of airlines, which is Korean Aerospace, a few others. But this guy, Naverson, what is the name of this company? Whatever it is.
I'm looking for
It's a pharmaceutical company. It's an international pharmaceutical company. Paid Michael Cohen $100,000 a month. They went on contract with this guy, Michael Cohen, Trump's personal attorney. $100,000 a month. Novartis, that's it. To get the information, to get connection to the White House. And
I think
Trump,
they paid him 1.2,
which is
million.
1.2 a year. It was a 1.2
million.
Yeah, in 1 year, in 12 months. Yeah, which is $100,000
right?
a month.
Because he and they canceled the contract. And this is important why they canceled the contract, Joe, because they said they realized that they were getting nothing for their money. He has no influence with Trump.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
But here's the deal.
Now he may be in trouble, but it doesn't connect to Trump.
No. Here's where it gets better.
Because he has no influence.
Here's where it gets better. They canceled the contract with him, but kept paying him.
Well, because the contract was part of the contract.
If someone say they're gonna do something, and you say, okay, here's a contract, I'm gonna pay you for this. And all of a sudden,
look, Michael Cohen may be in trouble.
Excuse me. And all of a sudden,
but it has nothing to do with Trump because he had no influence. That's what they said.
If I cut a deal with you, Harry, because you tell me that this is it, and you come up short, you breach that contract.
Joe.
That give me legal standing to go after you. But you know why? Why they did not go after him in legal standing? Because they don't want to make whom upset.
Hey, that's their problem.
And why exactly? Because they knew there was
has nothing to do with Trump.
Well,
how they feel has nothing to do with Trump.
Because
that's the important part. Because AT&T also paid him.
Where did the money go?
The AT&T.
Where did all the money go?
Into his account.
They don't know that.
Into Essential Consulting.
No, they don't have that. How did you know that? They don't have that.
Well, sure, Avenatti has it.
No, they don't.
Of course he does. He has the transaction. By the way,
Michael Avenatti is asking.
But by the way,
he's asking to show some receipts right now. Where did the money go?
By the way, first off, he doesn't.
Where did the money go?
By the way, he doesn't get to ask that.
Where did the money go?
Okay,
I'm asking.
Okay, right.
You're defending it, so
but
I'm
listen,
asking.
But let me just inform everybody. The Treasurer Inspector General has launched a probe. That means now Avenatti is under investigation,
right? To which he said, "I have no problems."
Yeah, of course he says now he has no problem, right?
I have no problem.
He has to give up where he got that information from, okay? Which he hasn't, and he also hasn't told them who is paying his bill on the Stormy Daniels thing.
Yes, he has.
Stormy Daniels came out and said,
"Yes, she have.
She is not paying him."
No, she's directly is not.
Okay,
but it was crowdsourced, and that was proven. It was crowdsourced. That is proven.
So all of this is under investigation.
So it was proven already. That's already proven.
They may have said it.
No, that was already.
He hasn't given it to the Treasury Department
yet. The money
yet.
has been crowdsourced. Okay, he has no direct. It's not coming from any PAC. It's not coming from any one person.
We'll see. The Treasury Department.
That's nonsense.
Is investigating.
By the way, while you dance your way across, away from the real question at hand.
No.
Where
Michael Cohen,
the $600,000?
Well, they have to
from
let them follow
AT&T,
the money. Let them follow the money.
Let them follow the money. Oh, now we want the investigation to continue.
Let them follow the money.
Let me tell you what's going on. Right? You mentioned Mike Pence earlier. But let me tell you something right now. This is how you know this thing is getting. It is right at the doorstep of the White House.
Because he's calling.
Now you got Mike Pence. Oh, he's begging for it to end.
No, he's not begging. He's just saying, look, it's a year already.
George Will said it best.
It's a year
George Will said it best.
George Will's a never Trumper. Always has been.
He's a never Trumper.
Another Trumper from the beginning.
Because he's wise enough to realize that this guy is a...
No, he's been wrong about Trump. He said Trump was going to fail. He said the economy was going to fail. He's been wrong
about Trump?
Yes, he has.
He's been wrong about Trump? So Trump is a big cause to this economy?
Of course he is.
Oh, he is? Okay.
Of course he is, Joe.
All right, okay. If you feel good sleeping at night saying that nonsense,
Of course he is.
Okay.
This president, under this president, we have 3.9%
Under
unemployment.
this president,
under
we
this
had
president,
we
we have
had
the lowest.
largest drop off in the stock market, which
We have-
affects which directly
Are you
affect
kidding me?
retirements. We had
Are you
we,
ki-
we
wait,
had plunges
Joe.
in the. Oh, you think every time it plunges, people don't lose money?
Joe,
Oh no, you think
and
the
you
same
think,
people?
and when
oh,
it
you think
goes
the same,
up,
oh, you
does-
think
do
the
they
same
get
people
money
get it?
under Trump?
No. You think the same people get
Look,
money back? Is that
under
what you
Trump,
think?
the-
No. You think the same
under
people
Trump,
get
the
it back?
stock market
you think,
went
you,
from
you think it affects your
18,000 to
Ma-
25, and then it
Yes,
dropped.
but
it's
you
at
think-
24 plus.
But you think when
Joe,
when the stock market
these people
slams,
are ahead
when,
under Trump.
When he makes the
Don't
stock
even
market,
try it.
When he makes the stock market,
Everybody's
slams up-
ahead under Trump.
Who's
It's a
ahead?
net gain, and you
Who's
know that, Joe.
ahead?
Don't lie to the people.
Who's ahead?
Don't
The
lie to the
economy
people.
is
We're over
better. The economy is
24,000.
not better.
Joe, come on.
You know the economy.
way
you
better.
have no, it's not.
As a
Look at
matter of
the type
fact,
of
the
jobs that
Department
are-
of Labor
look-
announced
Yes, there are
this
more.
month.
There are more jobs, but are they wage?
Joe?
like, are those wages
Did
to
you-
match with the economy?
Joe,
Yes or
did
no?
you ask that
Yes or
question when
no?
Obamacare
Yeah.
killed the economy?
What?
And a lot of jobs went from full time to part time
Oh, my
to fulfill
goodness.
the mandate
Oh
of,
my
of
goodness,
Obama.
This
Do you
this
know that,
guy-
right?
This guy,
If you
his jobs,
if you were employed for
all
more than
these- so-
29
so where
hours,
did all of these? So where are all the Trump jobs going to?
what do you mean where they're going to?
Yeah, I want to know where are they?
Where are they? They're not here in Connecticut
what
because it's
industry?
run by Democrats.
So what industry? What industry is winning from this?
Look around, Joe.
No, tell me.
I don't have the numbers
Oh,
right in
you
front
don't
of me,
have
Joe.
the numbers
But
in
the
front
jobs
of you.
are there. There are
you see, these are
employers
you see, if you
in
hear me
middle
saying
America.
something like that,
Hold on.
you hear me saying something,
Joe,
guess
you
what?
never
I'm
have.
gonna have
Where is it?
I want to have my notes. You know, if I was out
Come
here
on,
saying
Joe.
it, you know I was
Listen.
going to have my notes.
There are
But there's no need for
employers
me to have
now
notes when I'm over
who
here
are
knowing
willing
none
to
of this.
pay you to move now
Uh-huh.
because there's states in America who don't
Who's-
have enough employees, people to work.
Name one company.
Joe, come on,
Just name one company.
look it up, Joe.
Oh, come on.
You know, you've read the same articles.
Oh, come on. Just name one
You've
company.
read the
I
same
haven't
articles.
seen I haven't seen this. I heard about
Anyway,
it.
let's go back to
Name
the-
one company.
Let's roll back to Cohen
Uh,
because that's insane. Look, everybody could Google this. It's
Just
not.
name
This
one
is
com-
all over the place.
name a company.
And by the way, let me
Tell
correct.
you what.
Let me correct the
While you
record
continue
here.
lying, I'll look it up.
Let me correct the record here.
And the
right?
whole thing about it, though, Harry,
Hold
is
on,
like,
Joe.
go
Because
ahead.
I don't have time to look up while I'm arguing with you, and then you tell
Okay.
me why you ain't looking at me. Why is this? Why? Because you play games.
I don't
you
play
play
games, buddy.
games.
I don't play games.
Anyway, but listen.
Go ahead.
Let me correct the record with you because I heard this week. Jeez, this time is flying. Anyway, I hate to bring up subjects that are gonna take 5 minutes. Anyway, so this week you were on your show. You were talking about Trump's sale of his home in Miami.
Trump what?
The sale of his home in Miami, the
Yeah.
one that he bought from a bankruptcy court, which was foreclosed for $41 million,
Okay.
and then listed at $125 million.
No, sir.
Yes, he listed it at $125 million, and then came down to $100 million, and ended up selling it to that Russian for $95 million. This is a real estate mogul. Of course, this is what he does, Joe. And you making
40
it sound,
million,
and he did
40
it in
million.
and he did it in 2008.
$40 million mansion.
He bought it from a bankruptcy court for $41 million, which means it was at a bargain price.
That's what you're selling?
That's not what I'm selling. That's what it is.
This is what
And,
you...
and what you tried to do was say that Trump was listing a $50 million property for $100 million, and the Russian oligarch paid twice the amount. Not true.
Yes. What about it?
Not true. Your whole segment was a lie.
No, it was not.
Of course it was, because it was bought for $41 million from a bankruptcy court.
This is where you're going.
Just saying. I'm just correcting the record. I got more stuff, but we
Trump
don't got
sold
time.
a $40 million estate to
41
Russian
million.
oligarch for
He
$100 million.
Purchased
Okay.
it for $41 million. Joe, let me
he's
ask you a
like-
question. What you
he's
gonna
like-
sell when you sell your home? Do you sell
No.
it for the
No,
price
no,
you
no.
bought it, or are you trying to make a
No,
profit?
of course
Come
you're
on.
trying to make a profit, but the process, it's the process here that's in question.
Look, if you
It
buy,
is the process that's in question.
Joe, I know you're
That's
you're
a- no, no, no,
you're
no.
a reality
No, 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 no,
show
no, no.
guy.
No, no, no.
Okay,
It
so
was-
don't tell me you haven't seen Flip Your Home
Yeah.
on all these channels.
Yeah.
You buy the house
He
at
bought it
a
at 41
foreclosed-
million. Okay.
41 million,
Okay,
a
he paid
bargain
41
price because it
million
was at
for
a
it.
bankruptcy
Okay,
court.
But was the property worth $95 million?
He listed it.
No.
He listed it at 125 million.
No.
It had been on the market for 125 million for a year before he lowered it to 100 million, and then he got a bite from that Russian.
I like how you
At
like
2008.
You know, people, for the
2008.
sake
He
of
wasn't
time-
running for president.
for
You
the
make
sake-
it sound like it
for
was
the sake
yesterday.
of time, people, I'm going to let you go back and read this article. This is
Go
one
read
of the
it.
best
This is the
ones.
Miami Herald.
This is one of the best here, man. You got to go back and read this thing on Trump. And then you realize what this guy over here across the console is trying to sell you. Pure D garbage. Man, you need to stop.
Joe, you need to stop twisting facts
I'm
and,
not
twisting
look-
your audience's head.
Look-
Enough is enough, Joe. Enough's enough. You're listening to Drive-By Headlines
You're good, man.
on WNHH.
You are good. I got to tell you that.
103.5
much.
FM.
What? I'm sick and tired of all of your hateful shit. All you accusing got me losing my patience, shit. Though I don't wanna leave, I think we need space for this shit. Now I'm debating if I'm gonna replace this chick. But I'll be wrong if I up and replace this chick. Find another that's a loving and grateful chick. Remember when you said you wasn't no basic chick? Please, it's always love and war and relationships. Back and forth, me and her on the same issue. Language disgusting, feeling like I can't take this. Break up to make up sound. Track is my playlist. The pastor, the preacher, please somebody save it and save us. Enough's enough is what she's saying to me. But then it turn into love when she be laying with me. And then it turn into lust because we both don't have trust. We sip and roll up them drugs, hoping it make us both numb. A star in the sky, see you from afar. But up close, I see a black rose and broken heart. You're scarred. I'm trying to heal your wounds, but you treat me like dirt and want my stick as your broom.
Man, we gotta come in because we ain't got time. You're listening to
You
Drive-By
didn't even
Headlines.
let the hook come on.
I know. It's
Oh,
just,
man.
we'll let it play a little bit.
Nah, let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
All right. There you go. Enough's enough.
Yeah, so true. So true.
All right. So, did you see, Joe, you remember when you guys were doing backflips when Mueller indicted those Russians, those 13 Russians?
I want to do a backflip, so what about it?
You remember that?
What about it?
And everybody was like, proof and all of this stuff.
Mhm.
Well, did you see that he was embarrassed in court this week? Because he indicted them thinking that they weren't going to fight back, right? So they
Silly man. Go ahead. I got to hear this. Good.
I'm just saying,
Go
look,
ahead. I got to hear
so
this. I really got to hear this.
lawyers for the
Quick. Come on.
lawyers for the Russian company Concord Management and Consulting LLC
Yeah.
formally entered a not guilty plea in federal court Monday in a case special counsel Robert Mueller probably never thought would happen. So anyway, so they want a speedy trial because they're entitled to a speedy trial here in America, right? And Mueller had to say he wasn't ready.
Mm-hmm.
He was embarrassed because he wasn't ready
No. You see, that's the nice.
He wasn't ready, Joe. The
I
court
just
had
do
to
this.
tell him,
The reason why
you better get ready.
The reason why he went not ready yet, people, is because
Because it's a joke.
Because it's an ongoing investigation that he did not want to put on the table.
So why did he
ahead
indict
of-
them?
Because he wanted that part. He could have indicted them for and not expect a speedy trial. But they went for a speedy trial, which they're entitled to. And they're like, okay, you could go for a speedy trial. We just say we're not ready.
Mueller
And
keeps
guess
getting
what?
embarrassed. Do you
And guess
see?
what? No, he wasn't embarrassed.
Did you see the other
wasn't
other
embarrassed.
judge
What do you mean by he
who's
was
asking
embarrassed?
for the scope of his investigation?
Yes. So-
Right? And they're
so-
saying they don't have to give it to the judge. And he said, "Oh, I'm the judge. You
Yeah.
have to give it to me."
Okay, so
Okay, because they're telling
this is
they're
all
telling
legal
you-
proceedings.
the
Well,
judge
you getting
asked
hung
him-
up on legal proceedings. Is
the
that where we are
judge
with
the
this?
judge
This
asked
is legal
him.
proceedings. This happens all the time.
Because this is important.
You know, this happens all
The
the
judge
time.
asked him, "What does Manafort's case from 2005?"
Mm-hmm.
Because Manafort was already investigated in 2005, and guess who was the lead investigator on that case?
Okay,
Rosenstein.
okay.
Okay, and they came up with nothing. So now they brought that case back to use as leverage against Manafort against Trump. Okay, and that's
So-
what the judge told him.
so
What
did
does
that-
this have to
that-
do?
Did that case go to trial? No, the investigation.
They didn't
that-
find anything, and
The
they're using the
investigation.
same information.
Now that they have the information of where this guy
What
is running,
information?
this guy's running around in places like being representing Turkey.
The
I mean,
judge
not-
himself said,
Legal proceeding. That's
but
all it
no,
says.
but this isn't just legal proceedings.
This is not.
This is coming
not a
from the
judgment, man.
judge.
This is not a judgment, man.
But the judge is telling
but this is
them
not a judgment. This is legal proceedings.
that
This
they're
happens all the
abusing
time.
their power.
No, it haven't. He never said those words. Never.
Not in those exact words.
No, all he said.
But he
was,
said,
no,
you're trying to get Trump. He told
legal
them.
proceedings. They say it all the time.
Judges say
Stuff
that.
Like, yes, stuff like that always happen. Where they say where the judge will tell the prosecutor, "Hey,
You
need to
guys
slow
are having
your
a
roll.
difficult time
These
in
things
court."
happen. This is legal proceedings.
Okay.
It's not a difficult
I
time
can't
in
wait
court.
to see
It's when
that
it gets
that
to-
scope
it's
of
when-
Mueller's investigation.
You-
Because you know what happened, right? You know what happened when they raided
Oh, here we
Manafort's.
go.
Wait, when they
Here we
raided
go.
Manafort's
He
home
knows.
and they met him at his bed,
Yeah,
which you were giddy about, right?
very giddy.
Acting like he was burning something or he was going to leave town, right? And this is something Mueller does. He did it to what's that? The Chicago governor.
Mokovich or whatever. Yes.
Yeah,
What about him?
Blagovich.
Brockovich. Yeah, what about him?
He did it to them too.
So what was wrong
he
with that?
raided their house and
What
met
was
them
wrong
at
with
their
that?
bed.
At 6 o'clock in the morning?
He's an abusive
No,
guy.
no.
He abuses his
Listen,
power.
man. Listen, man.
Okay.
Listen, man.
Anyway, so the judge,
Anyway.
the judge tells them
You know what?
when
You
he
know
asked
what?
for the scope. You know
You
what
know what,
happened?
Harry?
They
Harry.
raided. Wait,
Harry,
they raided.
no,
they raided
I'm
his
gonna let
house.
you finish. I promise. I promise.
Okay,
I'm gonna
they
let
raided
you,
his house
no,
in
no, no.
July.
Okay, I'm gonna let you finish.
And they had to go and back date
I'm just gonna say this.
the warrant.
I'm just gonna say this real quick.
Rosenstein didn't approve it till August.
I'm just gonna say this real quick, people.
Blagojevich.
In sports, this is called running out the clock. Go for it.
Blagojevich. That's his name.
Yeah. Rob Blagojevich.
Yeah.
What about him?
So anyway, so they did it to him too. His wife was on TV the past week. But anyway, so
So he did nothing wrong.
wait, they raided.
Rod did nothing wrong.
I'm not going to talk about Rod's
Rob
case.
Blagojevich did nothing
Forget
wrong.
Blagojevich. I'm just saying what.
They got the guy on tape saying that either you give me a
But there was
seat-
no evidence of any exchange of anything. But anyway, that's besides the point. He should have talked against Obama because Obama wasn't to pay to play But anyway, so
This guy was like, oh my God. So you don't think Rob Blagojevich did nothing wrong?
why are we going to
Because you brought him up.
as a reference? I don't want to
So
go.
let's hit your reference.
Jeez. All right, so
You think Rob Blagojevich did nothing
So,
wrong?
Manafort's house
Okay.
raided in July,
Okay.
and Rosenstein's approval
Okay.
isn't signed till August.
All right. This is what he says, people.
No,
He
go
has
look
no
it up.
evidence of
The
this.
judge. That's why
This
the
guy
judge.
have-
That's
this
why
guy-
the judge wants to see the scope of the investigation.
This guy have no. This guy have nothing. You know, this is just like you know how I. You know what I would say.
See, in sports, this is called running out the clock, Joe. What you're doing right there.
You know what I would say, however, the one thing I would give you guys is that I would really like to know how the heck is Michael Avenatti getting all this info, man?
Right?
That's the part that I would really like.
And
to
you know it's Mueller's team who's doing it because they've been
I
leaking.
don't know that.
They're
I
like
don't
a
know
they're
that.
like a leaky
No,
faucet
they
in
don't.
your
No,
bathroom.
no,
Every
no,
time
no.
you go,
No,
there's
no,
water
no,
on
no,
the
no,
floor.
no. I don't know that. I don't know.
That's what
he-
they're doing.
I
This-
don't know what he's talking about. here.
Haven't they been
You
leaking all
just-
along, Joe?
No,
You know that.
No,
Joe,
no,
they've been leaking
no.
all along.
You have no, absolutely zero evidence of what you're talking about. These are basic right-wing conservative
And by the way,
assumptions.
Andrew
None,
Weinstein.
no evidence.
Andrew Weinstein, the guy who was in court that day when the judge smacked down,
Here we go again.
that
Judge.
guy
Judge.
has been reversed by the Supreme Court 9-0. Even Democrats, even the Democrats on the Supreme Court have reversed cases of his because of abuse of power, and he also withholds evidence. Go look it up, people. That's who Robert Mueller has on his team. Andrew Weinstein, a dirty lawyer. I just said that and I said, oh, they're going to come after me. But check it out. Andrew Weinstein, a dirty prosecutor who has withheld evidence from the court before and who has been reversed by the Supreme Court 9-0.
I don't have any of that facts in front of me, people, so I'm not even going to try to argue it.
But you know what, Joe?
But I do
Next
will
week,
tell you.
why don't you come with the information to prove me wrong?
I'm not coming back to rehearse your nonsense when the listeners, they're going
Because
to look
he
it up.
knows I'm saying the truth.
No. What I appreciate is that we have listeners who are willing to go forth and look
That's
up
right.
stuff.
Look it up.
That's all
Andrew
it is.
Weinstein. Look it up.
When we're having
this
these
guy's a dirty
When
prosecutor.
we're having these discussions, it is
Oh, and you
my
know
goal-
Robert Mueller.
It is my goal. It's not to prove you wrong or none of that stuff. It's just to make sure that people, you spark the
Are informed.
interest. Yeah, but the key is to spark the interest of the listener so they could go and get information on their own. Otherwise, we're just doing the same garbage that I accuse Fox News of.
You know, we got to
Just-
get out.
Just taking stuff and just throwing it at the people. It's critical that people look stuff up.
All right, people. Thank you for tuning in to Drive-By Headlines with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave.
And, of course, I am the ugly one.
Big Hug!
For real. It goes down every Friday on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven.
All right, we're out. See ya!
Bulla. When I was 16, I was really in the streets. Hey, when I was 16, I was really in the streets. Hey, when I was 16, I was really in the streets. Count that money, count that money, count that money all night. When I was 16, I was really in the streets. Count that money, count that money, count that money all night. When I was 16, I was really in the spot. Trap phone ringing, every pocket got a knot. Water whipping Yola got me whipping off the lot. Holla auntie, keep the extra, she gon' scrape it out the pot. Couple hitters with me, but you know I got my own strap. Switching up my numbers, cause the feds be tryna phone tap. Ziggins ain't 100, so you gotta watch your own back. And my name tatted on the suit, so I own that. Shorty want some Quavo, I don't do the whole set. I do what I want, nigga, and you do what these hoes say. I feel like a porn star, sexy tryna role play. How you wanna feel, nigga, and you ain't busting no plays. You ain't making plays, my nigga, what goddamn. I've been waiting on this moment since they let me out the camp. Watch them.
Hey New Haveners, and welcome to another episode of Kitchen Sink. On today's show, I talk with Josh Cantor, or Josh Crumbie, the new head baker at Atticus Bookstore and Cafe, about what brought him from New Mexico to New Haven. With no further ado, let's hop in.
So I grew up in Stanford, went to Stanford High School, graduated in 2006, went to UConn, had a undergrad degree in linguistics and psychology. Kind of found my way through friends into this eco garden program and got interested in food and food justice through that, and I ended up taking a class my senior year in agricultural resource economics. That's a major that exists at UConn. It's a land-grant university, and I took an intro-level class in that, and it was all about the major players in the industry: Cargill, Archer Daniels Midland, nasty stuff. We read a lot, we watched a lot of documentaries. That was sort of my new perspective and new horizon of food, and bread was the first thing I looked at. Bread, I went home and looked at the foods I had in my pantry, and bread had a whole paragraph on the back, and I was like, man, I thought bread was flour, water, and salt and yeast, so I started making awful breads. Yeah.
Before you go on, there's so much to unpack there.
Okay.
I just feel like there's a lot to unpack there. So first of all, I want to hear about this eco garden.
Yeah.
And the friends that got you interested in it. Because for